What is going on, you guys? Petplatypus here, and it's time for a top 5 list. My first top 5, I think. No, wait, hold on. I know I have top 10s, a couple top 10s, not many. But I think this is my first top 5, I think. And it's not really like a definitive, this is the worst female characters I've ever seen in anime and or manga, but a list of 5 bad ones. You know, the kind of list that you could update later. You know, the kind of list where you can say, all right, here's 5 more really bad female characters. You know what I mean? Or, you know, on the flip side, when I make a top 5 good female characters, I can make another top 5 good female characters. I'm not looking for the absolute worst because I haven't seen enough anime and manga to really say definitively that these are the worst. Plus, there's like 3 on this list from one series in particular, which is why it's just a list of 5 bad examples. And if you like any of the characters on this list, that's totally cool with me. Go ahead, you do you. But for me, these are just annoying characters. But again, if you like them, that's completely fine. So with all that being said, there will be like minor spoilers in this video to sort of talk about why I don't like these characters. Really only applies to like 1 or 2 of them, and they're not that bad, so don't really worry about that. With that being said, let's get started. Number 5, Kurushima Chiyori from Excel World. This character, the reason why this character is at the bottom of this list is because she does play an important role towards the finale of the series. You know, she wasn't useless or anything, but I don't like this character at all for several reasons. Number 1, bratty, spoiled personality, kind of tsundere-ish, really annoying. I don't like tsundere characters, especially when they're this bratty and annoying. Like, I can tolerate Nami on One Piece fine, and there's others I can tolerate, but when they're this bratty and childish, and she's fucking, and the biggest thing, though, even more so than her being annoying, is the fact that she's essentially a plot device. From the start of the series to the end of the series, you know, why is the main dude fighting with his best friend early on in the series? Oh, weird love triangle thing because of her. You know, not that it's her fault specifically, but just, you know, and then later, why can't they just beat the bad guy? Oh, because she's constantly healing him with her fucking OP power that she got. Again, plot device. And again, she does do something big at the end of the series, which I'm not going to get into, and her healing the main villain does come together. It's not like she, like, betrayed them or anything, which is why she's only at the bottom of this list. Again, not a list of the worst, just a bad character in my opinion. Not a lot in the way of character development other than going from, I don't know why you guys play this dumb game, to kind of liking it. I mean, that's literally the only thing she really does to change much. And again, not the absolute worst character ever, but I find her to be annoying. I find her to be a plot device to just move things forward. She's only there because she has this OP healing power, and yeah, I didn't like her. I didn't like her at all. But with that being said, there are worse on this list, so let's move on. Number 4, Scarlett from Fairy Tail. At first, I wasn't really sure if I was going to put her on this list, because I was thinking, man, Scarlett does get annoying later, but she has, you know, a lot of redeeming things about her, right? I mean, you know, she's good looking. You know, you can say anything you want about Hiro Mashima's writing, but from an art standpoint, the dude knows how to draw female characters. Absolutely. That's unquestionable. And he's got good armor designs for her, even if a lot of them are kind of fan servicey. He does give her good armor designs, and, you know, she's a badass, right? But as I thought about it more and more, I was like, man, her stupid, heroic, I gotta redeem every female character because, I don't know, Hiro Mashima likes to draw boobs, so they all have to turn good. You know, her stupid, cheesy speeches get super annoying. She goes from just being a badass to, like, well, the status quo is that she's stronger than Natsu and everyone else, so she just has to become even more OP for no real reason, and she turns into a total Mary Sue. There's a fight she has where she has literally no senses. All her senses, including touch, are blocked off, yet somehow when she gets hit, she feels the pain, that's a writing problem, not an Urza problem. And then she wins because she's Urza. That's literally the most explanation you get. Someone else theorizes that because all her senses were blocked, she opened up like a sixth sense, but They don't go into that. The only thing they go into, or really even give any attention to, is, oh, she won because she's Urza, even though she had no sense of touch, no sense of anything at all blocked, and she wins. And it's just, and she was already injured before that. It's just total Mary Sue character. Yeah, she has cool armor designs. Yeah, she's good to look at. Yeah, she can be funny sometimes. But like most fairy tale characters, the jokes wear thin because they're the same jokes for 500 chapters. And yeah, she has almost no redeeming qualities at this point. She's a Mary Sue who tries to redeem everybody, and she's just not interesting to watch. We'll scratch that. She's interesting to watch in, from a certain point of view. But, Anyways, let's move on to the next one. Number 3. Lucy Heartfilia from Fairy Tail. Yeah, I said there's a series that has 3 characters on this list, and we're not done with Fairy Tail yet. Where do I even begin with Lucy? Lucy's a character who doesn't have as many badass moments as Urza, for one. She has outfits that she swaps into now because, let's reuse that, even though Urza already does that. And they're not as interesting as Urza's. She might look better. I don't know. Maybe that's subjective. But she's just a useless character most arcs. She gets captured a lot. And I think the biggest problem with this is that she's supposed to be one of the main characters. And I don't just mean like, oh, she's one of the main cast. No, she's like one of the 2 main characters. She's supposed to be like I forget, deuteragonist or whatever it is. She's supposed to be like the main character besides Natsu, because the story is like told from her perspective. It's always like her like narration. It was her joining Fairy Tail. She was the fresh eyes to the guild for the audience to experience it with. And yet she's useless in a fight for the most part. She has her moments, but I can only count them on like one hand. She's constantly used for fan service. I think she literally gets stripped naked once per arc at least, sometimes multiple times. She's just not, there's a scene later on where she's like, okay, I gotta kill this person because they're a huge threat and I have a chance to, and she's gonna do it, and I'm like, hey, Lucy, nice, that's smart. And then she ends up liking this person, even though they're a bad person, and she just does that, it's that stupid cliche, I forgive you, even though there's no logical reason why. It's fucking the friendship, and I will say Fairy Tail has toned down full-blown friendship speeches, or maybe I'm just numb to them at this point, and I don't notice how cheesy they are anymore, but just, oh my god, she's such a bland character, too. She started off as a character who was a little bit like Bulma from Dragon Ball. She could get mad at the character when they do something stupid, mostly just dumbfounded at how stupid the characters are. She's good looking and she knows it, kind of like Bulma from Dragon Ball. Well, Toriyama's art style back then was kind of basic, so I wouldn't really say she was that good looking, but you get what's implied there, the implied characterization. But then Lucy just kind of drops that. She kind of drops that little cockiness she has in her looks. She's still smart and stuff, I guess, but no, she just ends up becoming a really bland character with no real character development over the course of the series. Outside of a couple of moments that don't really develop her character, they just give her some drama to go through, some crying to have happen, but not really a ton in the way of actual development. But that's enough about Lucy. Let's move on to the last Fairy Tail chick. Juvia Loxer, I think that's how you pronounce it. This fucking character, dude. Okay, I'm not like a feminist. I'm not a social justice warrior. I'm not like that at all. So I'm not like offended when I see like sexist things in media, but that doesn't mean I don't still think they can be dumb. And Juvia is one of the most sexistly written female characters I have ever seen. Her entire character from when she's introduced to the most recent stuff in the series is all about the character of Gray Fullbuster, the guy that she is in love with all the time. That's her entire gag. That's her only gag. She gets jealous of other girls that are around him for no reason, which is fine, whatever. It's fine up to a point until 500 chapters later, and it's still the same gag. She loves him. She comes on to him all the time. She can't take a hint that he doesn't like her. But it's there all the time. It's so repetitive and annoying, and what happens when these characters are living together, not in a relationship, mind you, but just living together on their own. Gray leaves for whatever reason, I forget the reason, it has something to do with the plot and his, powers. He ends up leaving, and what happens to Juvia? She shuts down. She gets sick. She gets depressed. So dependent on the dude in her life that she just totally shuts down. Not a strong female character in any sense. Completely dependent on the guy in her life. And again, I'm not a feminist, I'm not a social justice warrior, but I know sexist writing when I see it, and it's just dumb. It's just a dumb character that this gag should have died a long time ago, or they should have ended up in a relationship, or she could have moved on to someone else, or I don't know, something. You know what I mean? Just not the same thing. I've said that for all three of these characters. It's the same shit over and over with all of them for so long and so repetitively that I can't even enjoy the early stuff in Fairy Tail anymore. Like with Naruto, I don't like Naruto, but I can go back to the early stuff and still enjoy it because there's good characterization and writing, even if it does rip off Hunter x Hunter in a few places. But with Fairy Tail, it's like I could flip open the volume and be like, oh my god, this gag again. And I know it's from the early parts of the series, so maybe that's not fair, but it's just like, fuck, I see this gag 500 chapters later. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of these characters. They're not funny anymore. So even reading the older stuff, which was only reasonably good to begin with, I mean, it's just, I don't, you know. So yeah, that's Juvia, sexist character. Again, great to look at, just like Lucy, just like Urza. He's got great female character designs, but no, you know, and also her obsession with Gray makes no fucking sense. She's so ridiculously obsessed with him, and it literally makes no sense. I mean, the way they got together is so dumb. And there's other characters like this. There's characters like Diane from Seven Deadly Sins, and there's characters like, Boa Hancock from One Piece, but we don't see Boa Hancock all the time. And when she's there, it's funny. There's other aspects to her character, and again, she's not there all the time for the joke to get super tired. Diane's there quite a bit, but there is more to her. She has this past relationship with King, and then they actually start to explore a relationship between her and King in the present time, until fucking Gowther, but we're not going to go into that right now. That's not important. They do try to do things with her character and develop her and kind of make her move past the Meliodas thing at least a little bit. And that's only within, what, there's 200 chapters of Seven Deadly Sins? Fairy Tail has 500, and Juvia's introduced, like the second major arc? So no, fuck that. She's a terrible character. Moving on to number one. Number one, Sakura Haruno from Naruto. Oh my god. This character has just, like, I don't even know where to begin with Sakura. She's terribly written, first of all. I'm not going to say she's useless, because I know a lot of people jump to the she's useless thing, because she doesn't fight a lot. And that is bullshit, because she learned how to fight, and the potential of that is completely squandered, but she is not useless. She does heal people. She is a medical ninja, so she's not useless in that sense. But she is a character that, similar to Juvia, falls in love with this guy for shallow reasons. But instead of what I thought her character arc was going to be is to mature past this guy, especially up to the point where the fucker tries to kill her. I think at least twice in the series, but for sure once. I can't remember the second time, so I'm going to say once for now. But I think he tries to kill her twice. And we're talking about Sasuke, of course. She's still in love with him. It's like psychotic. It's like unhealthy how much she likes this guy even after everything he does to her and everything he's done to other people. It's ridiculous. And they end up together even though he showed no interest in her. And it's like, that's got to be the most unhealthy relationship ever. I wouldn't be surprised if it was abusive. And I don't really care about all that because I'm not reading Boruto. And it probably isn't. They're probably just going to totally gloss over how the relationship should be, which is horrendous because he showed no interest in her throughout the entire run of the series. But she never took a hint. She never really properly developed past being in love with him. She has that stupid I love you moment with Naruto, which was lame. Again, she's squandered completely. And the biggest problem with everything, and what puts her above Juvia and above all these other characters, is she is one of the main characters. Her, Naruto, Sasuke, and Kakashi. Maybe not Kakashi, you could argue, but those three are the main characters of Naruto. No ifs, ands, ors, or buts about it. They are the main characters. And she gets completely underdeveloped, completely sidelined. There's moments where she'll say, yeah, I'm going to try and fight and, catch up with them. And she has that moment in the Great Ninja War where she has the tattoo thing and she fights. And she's like, oh yeah, I can stand side by side with these guys. And I'm like, Kishimoto, why are you insulting my intelligence? Like, I was literally insulted. Like, and I don't get insulted easily when reading a series, but when he was trying to shoehorn her in the final arc, like she mattered this whole time, or she matters now, and then in the very next chapter she goes back to being basic Sakura bullshit over again. I feel insulted. I feel like my intelligence has been insulted. Like Hiro Mashima thinks that this makes up for the lack of character development she's gotten this entire time, throwing in a couple chapters here and there just to reverse it or cut it short in the next chapter. No, that's bullshit. This character is annoying. She gets no proper character development. She is completely wasted in terms of potential. Everything I've already said about her sucks, and she's not even cool to look at. I know I just went on that whole sexist thing about Juvia and shit, but it's a joke. But no, she is not good to look at either. So, yeah, that's the list. 5 female characters that I don't like personally. Sakura might be a number 1. Like, I could make another list of top 5, but Sakura might be my least favorite. She's just a really bad character, especially with the Sasuke bullshit, especially since they end up together, especially since he tried to kill her. It's just, I understand anime, like, exaggerates emotions, and they'll do things that aren't exactly logical, but that's too far, in my opinion. That's just so irredeemably stupid of her that I just, no. But that's me, personally, and again, one more time, if you like any of these characters, that's fine. There is probably a redeeming aspect besides looks to all of them, I'm sure, for you guys, and even for me, but that's not what this list was about, so obviously I was going to talk about the worst traits of them, but with all that being said, what do you guys think of this list? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Go ahead and tell me in the comments section below. You can also give this video a thumbs up and share it on social media. Both those would help me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already, or if you like what you've seen here. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.